Good evening. I appreciate you joining us today on To The Point. And today, let me take a deep breath. It's been a whirlwind. Even the building next to our station caught on fire. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show tonight. Also, a lot of you had something to say about companies who have decided not to renew home insurance policies in California. But first, we're getting you caught up on the news of the day, starting with more about what state unexpectedly sent migrants to Sacramento. We confirmed it was Florida. These are videos just sent to ABC 10 tonight from Florida officials. The Florida Division of Emergency Management says they documented the migrants that they sent on the flights to Sacramento. We are told they voluntarily signed paperwork and hear people on camera saying they treated us well. We have chosen to blur their faces because we don't know what their circumstances are, when this video was taken, and what was actually said before these flights. So to get you caught up, over the past several days, 2 flights carrying migrants that crossed the U.S.-Mexico border into Texas arrived in Sacramento. Organizations in our area have been scrambling to help them find housing, connect with families, and much more. Here was Mayor Steinberg just hours ago.
We're not publicly revealing their location, obviously, to protect their privacy. But be assured that they are safe, they are being well cared for, and they're in good spirits.
We are told all 36 migrants are here legally and have paperwork to move forward and stay in the U.S. Some of the asylum seekers have already been reunited with their families and are asking how they can contribute to the community. Meanwhile, Governor Newsom's office put out a statement tonight saying, in part, Newsom said it best, the Florida governor is small and pathetic, and this video is just another reminder of that. And in tonight's main point, I'm sitting down with our reporter, Roxana Lias. She has been covering the recent arrival of migrants here in Sacramento and spent time at the U.S. border even recently. She's really been talking to people who have been experiencing, different things with Title 42. And earlier today, I actually learned something new about Roxanne. Her mom and dad were once migrants themselves, and her connecting, covering, and understanding and sharing migrant stories is something that she's really been taking to heart. So a lot of people may not know, but your family has been through something similar to what these migrants and really asylum seekers have been through. So can you share what that experience really does to someone?
Both my mom and dad and a lot of my family, they're all migrants. They all tried to flee their countries for a better life, essentially, for a better life for their children too. Even to this day, I hear their stories of them crossing dangerous rivers. I want people to know that these are people. I think what we see on TV doesn't even touch the surface of what's actually happening at the border. Because when I was there, you have people that are desperate. A little boy came and asked me for toothpaste because he just wanted to brush his teeth, and we weren't even allowed to give them anything at the time because they had to monitor the way that they were being helped because there's so many of them at the borders.
And you better believe we can handle it.
Multiple faith leaders and nonprofits came together to address several things, including what is next for them. So can you explain how they are being taken care of right now and what is next?
Right now, they are being housed in certain areas they don't really want to share with us because these families actually have a fear of being seen on camera, and they're worried about their families that are in the other countries that they come from are still maybe under some type of retaliation. But from what we know is they're being fed, they're in good spirits, they're happy to be here. We're told today that some of the first things that they've told these faith leaders and nonprofits is that they want a job, they want to make money, they want to contribute to society, and they're excited to be here and finally be able to do that.
A lot of the organizations that we've reached out to say that monetary donations are the best way to help, but can you explain why?
They have the generosity of other people that have given them things, but that's the thing. They've only received things that people have wanted to give them. They haven't had the chance to make a choice to say, hey, I want this outfit, I want these shoes, I want this particular food. It just lets them actually be a person. I think right now a lot of people are in fear of us receiving an influx of migrants here, but from our mayor and from all these other organizations, faith leaders, they told us today they are prepared to handle more people. We're California, we're the welcoming state.
Again, organizations in Sacramento are telling people who want to help to donate cash over physical items. Organizations are also looking for attorneys, and we do have more information on our website at abc10.com/tothepoint. All you have to do is look for the links mentioned section. And this just came into our newsroom. The White House says President Biden will now be traveling to Northern California this month. He's expected to arrive on June 19th. No word yet about what this visit is about. All right, a lot has happened in Sacramento today. Here are a few other things that people have been talking about. Davis's suspected serial killer, Carlos Dominguez, was back in court today. He is accused of stabbing 2 men to death and then trying to kill a woman experiencing homelessness. The Yolo County Assistant District Attorney requested the release of Dominguez's mental health records, which was denied, and the court ordered a mental health exam on Dominguez. And then, as I mentioned earlier, sometimes the news just comes right to your doorstep. This was the scene outside of our ABC 10 studios this morning, just off Broadway. The building next to us caught on fire. Sacramento firefighters say that they were able to put the flames out from the exterior of the building, and an investigation is underway. And there is a growing call for more security at Encina High School in Sacramento. A student was stabbed today, forcing the high school and nearby middle school to shelter in place. Jeannie Nguyen has been covering this story throughout the day and joins us live outside the high school tonight.
Alex, students here at Encina High School were sent home earlier this morning after what the sheriff's office says was a stabbing between 2 students. Now, I did speak with a parent earlier this morning who says she's thankful that her daughter wasn't hurt, but she is concerned about her safety moving forward.
I was cooking, cleaning up, taking care of my 3-year-old, and then I get a call saying that there was a shelter in place.
It didn't take long until Karita Thornton then got an email and text about the shelter in place at her daughter's school, Encina Preparatory High School.
My nerves were bad. I instantly texted my daughter, and she said that she was okay, and that there had been a stabbing. So I was just making sure my daughter was okay.
A spokesperson with the San Juan Unified School District says this all started when a former student went on campus to find a current Encina student, and then a fight happened. At that point, district officials say the former student stabbed the current student. The sheriff's office says both were female juveniles. The victim was sent to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
But you pray that this is not something that you have to go through.
And while the suspect has been detained, Thornton says it's scary knowing just how close her daughter was to the incident.
I just more so care, to make sure my child is safe, and the child, whatever whose child that was, I pray for that child as well, because no mother should have to come to a school and find out their child has been hurt.
District officials placed both the high school and nearby Katherine Johnson Middle School under a shelter in place this morning. Both schools were dismissed shortly after this incident. And while Thornton's daughter was not hurt, she's hoping the school keeps measures in place to keep her daughter safe.
I really would hope that they get more security measurements going on in the school, because just the fact of just having a knife, or just any weapon. You making a weapon out of even a pencil. I know it's just getting out of hand.
Right now, the district believes that this incident was isolated and that student was targeted. On top of that, the district will continue to have support for students and staff on campus relating to this incident. Alex, back to you.
Thank you, Jeannie. Coming up next on To The Point, preparing for peak wildfire season. We're going inside CAL FIRE's growing arsenal of firefighting equipment and why each plane that's added to this fleet is really a big deal.
Nice that they have some time to do some additional training, especially with all the showers and thunderstorms out there. It's keeping everything very wet. Looking at the opportunity of how many more days we're going to see this active weather coming up.
And could fentanyl be up on a vote on your ballot? We're looking at the impact of the so-called Alexandra's Law.
It's unfathomable for me to be standing here right now, nearly 4 years later, and not a damn thing has been done.
We're back right after this. It's kind of hard to believe. It's just June. Rain just fell in Sacramento. It's not a lot, but it still counts. It still counts. Some people even wearing sweaters and jackets today. This lovely video is sent in to us by a viewer named Walt Gray. Do you know that man?
You're right. You'll see him every morning.
All right, how are we looking, though, for our weather?
Well, we're still tracking areas of rain, and right now we've got a flash flood warning in effect for parts of Plumas County. That will continue until 9 o'clock tonight, and you'll see the reason why. A very active line of showers moving through over the past couple of hours. So with that, it has dropped some heavy rain and hearing of some rock, mud, and debris flow along Highway 70. Just be prepared for lots of changing conditions, especially through the foothills and Sierra. A little thunderstorm rippling on through near Marysville and Yuba City within about the past half hour. Some showers also right along I-80 near Fairfield and Vacaville of 505 as well, with some rain on the roadways driven by that low pressure system. Now that is going to be a part of the forecast for the next couple of days. The most active weather tomorrow shifting to the northeast corner of the state. And then we lose just a tinge of that very active weather into our Thursday. But all in all, this pattern really not shifting too much. Picked up about 1/100th of an inch of rain to almost 1/10 of an inch of rain for our day today, with temperatures on the cool side. Normally we're at about 86 degrees. Today topped out at 73, and you can see how that low pressure system moves off to the east, and it is replaced by our next one. That's due. And for the weekend, active weather continues for the mountains for the next 5 days, and we'll also see that develop for the foothills over the weekend. Dry across the coast. Moving into our 10-day forecast, slight chance of some light valley showers again Sunday and Monday.
Our peak fire season is getting longer and longer year after year. We cover devastating losses, but CAL FIRE is stepping up to the challenge. They've been replacing and adding to its arsenal of firefighting tools. 7 planes and 16 helicopters have been added to their war chest with help from the state. And as part of what our Devin Truby shows us tonight, getting an aerial attacker up and running is no easy task.
7 C-130 airplanes are being modified to carry fire retardant at McClellan, but none are currently ready.
The C-130s are being transferred to us via the Coast Guard to us. So there is basically no cost other than the support and maintenance of those aircraft, and but the Air Force is doing the modifications to it. So
What's the concern that the C-130s won't be ready for this season?
we'll have the exclusive use air tankers that we can use, and then they also have some exclusive use Type 1 helicopters to augment that. So we've added in additional resources to make sure that we cover the C-130s.
The 4,000-gallon tank in the planes will deliver 3 times the amount of retardant that the current small planes can. 10 Black Hawk helicopters have also arrived, rehomed from the military, and painted white to now serve as Firehawks.
Our response times will be quicker because they're faster helicopters, faster aircraft. They can deliver more of a capacity of water, with the S-70I being 1,000 gallons to traditionally 340.
Also, their newest mission, night flights. Last fire season, only 1 night flight was flown over the Electrofire in Amador and Calaveras counties.
The helicopter is in an effort to be a multi-mission, all-risk type platform. So yes, night flying is one of the capabilities that we're looking to enhance. Last year was our first fire mission at night. This year we'll have 3 additional bases that have that capability.
This will give crews a cooler environment to work in, less smoke, giving CAL FIRE an eye in the sky to watch where the fire is headed instead of having to wait for the morning hours to see how the fire has grown. But it has its own challenges, flying in the dark in mountainous terrain.
And then now they're flying at night under goggles, so the safety factor is enhanced. So we have to make sure that we have people that are trained properly, that we've tried to bring people in from the military to help assist us.
Each Firehawk comes with its own $23 million price tag. That's $368 million by time all 16 become operational over the next few years. The closest bases to us where the helicopters will respond from are Hollister, Alma, Columbia, and Vina.
To the Point just covered those night flying helicopters last year, and it takes about 300 hours to train a pilot on this new technology, and the training is happening here in Sacramento. And while CAL FIRE prepares for the months ahead, here are 3 things that you should be doing right now. First, create an evacuation plan. Plan what to do in case you are separated from your family during an emergency and then have to evacuate. Create your defensible space. And people need to clear about a 100-foot buffer around their homes to try to help spare them in the event of a wildfire. And don't forget this, you can also check out CAL FIRE's website, readyforwildfire.org, to create your own fire preparedness plan. You already know, and to the point, we read all of your comments, and several of you had something to say about our story last Friday. We discussed the home insurance crisis. For years, people living in the foothills have struggled to keep their home insurance due to wildfire risk. We now know that at least 3 companies, Allstate, State Farm, and AIG, who have stopped accepting new homeowner policies because of the cost to rebuild. So Barney wrote in saying, I know this sucks for people, but it's simple economics and risk assessment. No company will take way less than 1% of the rebuild cost of a house as a premium if the chance they will have to pay out that rebuild cost is now assessed to be much more likely or almost inevitable as global warming continues. We had another person saying that they believe this is probably a good time for those in the rural areas to sell and leave the state. I can only see rates increasing, resulting in the reduction of property values. We know this is a difficult topic. This is about not just homes, but people's families, their livelihoods. So if you are experiencing losing your home insurance right now, or you're having difficulties with your homeowner's insurance, we want to hear from you. You can text me and the team at 916-321-3310. Let us know what you're going through and what process you're really in trying to get your home insured. We want to hear from you. All right, turning to the state capitol today, there was a small but very mighty crowd calling for a crackdown on fentanyl. State Republicans have introduced a constitutional amendment to have us, voters, to potentially charge fentanyl dealers with murder. This stems from Alexandra's law that was previously struck down, and it would warn fentanyl dealers on their first conviction that if their future actions lead to someone's death, they can be charged with murder. The bill is named after Matt Capilouto's daughter.
And this law won't take away any of the pain our family and many families like ours deal with every single day. But it can save lives. It's unfathomable for me to be standing here right now, nearly 4 years later, and not a damn thing has been done.
Both Republicans and Democrats in the legislature have already tried to crack down on the crisis the traditional way by introducing bills, but the bills keep failing in the same public safety committees. So what would it take to get this amendment? The proposal, it would have to skip the public safety committees, but it would require a 2/3 vote from both the Senate and the Assembly before it goes to voters for that final say. All right, still ahead, be aware of crypto scams, why you might want to think twice before texting an unknown stranger back. Okay, welcome back. If you were watching our show last night, you might have noticed some technical difficulties. The good news is we're back. Our engineers and directors have been really hard at work getting our systems back up and running. Last night, though, due to a glitch, we were unable to share the story of Tuba Adina Howe. She's an Afghan refugee now raising her children in Rockland, and she just wrote a children's book. You might have seen Tuba in our other newscast today. So if you do want to learn more about her, make sure you head over to abc10.com/tothepoint. And To the Point will not be on air at 6:30 tomorrow. We have the NBA Finals starting at 5 o'clock. After the game, though, you don't want to miss this. Investigative reporter Andy Judson is looking into a new scam involving cryptocurrency. It's called pig butchering. The FBI says in some cases, victims are losing thousands of dollars and even their life savings.
But it just refers to raising little piglets, fattening them up, and butchering them. They're fattening up their victim with illusions of grandeur, of wealth, of love, before bleeding them dry.
This scam starts long before you even receive a message. The con artist studies their victims to know their vulnerabilities, learn how to protect you and your loved ones after the NBA game finals tomorrow, right here on ABC 10. And hey, if there is something that you want us to look into, make sure you always reach out to me and the team anytime. You can text us. We also have email at tothepoint@abc10.com. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Hey, it's Alex. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really love hearing from everyone, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. Reach out to me on Facebook at AlexBellTV, or you can email me at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send me a text message at 916-321-3310.